Imagine stepping onto the field wearing the green and gold jersey, knowing that millions of South Africans expect nothing less than excellence. Now imagine realizing that one single match could change the direction of your entire international career. That is exactly what this Springboks vs Scotland test represented. While the scoreboard told one story, another battle was unfolding behind every tackle, every scrum, every breakdown, and every lineout. Some players strengthened their place in the world champions' plans, while others faced questions about whether they could become long-term fixtures in one of the most competitive squads in world rugby. And perhaps the biggest surprise wasn't the final result, it was the emergence of new heroes who proved they belong at the highest level. As we dive into this incredible test, ask yourself this: which Springbok impressed you the most, and who still has the most to prove before the next major tournament? Let us know in the comments, because every rugby fan sees this game differently, and your opinion might spark the next great debate. Now, let's relive one of the most fascinating Springbok performances in recent memory. As the Springboks walked onto the pitch, there was a familiar sense of confidence surrounding the team. South Africa have built a reputation for thriving under pressure, but this match carried a different kind of importance. With several experienced stars unavailable and younger players receiving valuable opportunities, this wasn't just another international fixture. It was an audition. Every minute mattered. Every collision mattered. Every decision could influence future team selections. Coaches aren't only watching the scoreboard. They're watching work rate, discipline, communication, positioning, and the willingness to fight when fatigue begins to take over. Scotland arrived knowing exactly what kind of challenge awaited them. They understood that beating the Springboks requires more than skill. It requires physical courage. South Africa have built their identity on relentless intensity. Their defensive system squeezes opponents until mistakes appear. Their forwards dominate collisions. Their set pieces become weapons. Against a team like Scotland, maintaining those standards for 80 minutes would become the true test. From the opening whistle, the physicality was impossible to ignore. Every tackle echoed around the stadium. Every carry looked like a collision between heavyweight fighters. It immediately became clear that neither side intended to back down. The Springboks established their trademark aggression early, forcing Scotland to play under constant pressure. Even when Scotland managed to build phases, the South African defense closed down space with remarkable speed. One player who immediately stood out was captain Pieter-Steph du Toit. Leadership in rugby is about much more than wearing the captain's armband. It's about setting the emotional standard for the entire team. Du Toit did exactly that. Whether chasing kicks, smashing attackers behind the gain line, contesting lineouts, or carrying into heavy traffic, he seemed to appear everywhere. Great captains don't simply motivate with words. They inspire through actions. Every teammate could look toward him and see a player refusing to slow down despite the physical punishment of international rugby. His work at the breakdown became particularly important. Scotland attempted to generate quick ball, but Du Toit's relentless pressure repeatedly disrupted their rhythm. Every second delayed at the breakdown gave South Africa's defensive line time to reorganize. Those small moments rarely make highlight reels, yet they often determine the outcome of test matches. Then there was Paul de Villiers, one of the most intriguing stories of the match. Earning test caps for South Africa is never easy. Breaking into a squad filled with world-class loose forwards is among the toughest challenges in rugby. Yet de Villiers played with remarkable confidence. Instead of looking overwhelmed by the occasion, he embraced it. Every tackle carried intent. Every run gained valuable meters. Every breakdown contest showed intelligence rather than desperation. Young players sometimes try to force moments in order to impress selectors. De Villiers did the opposite. He trusted his fundamentals, remained disciplined, and quietly built one excellent contribution after another. That maturity suggests he could become an important part of South Africa's future plans. The second row also produced moments that demonstrated why the Springboks continue to dominate physically. Ruan Nortje displayed enormous work rate throughout the contest. Locks often perform the invisible jobs that casual fans overlook. They secure lineouts, clean rucks, make countless tackles, and repeatedly carry into defensive walls. Nortje embraced every one of those responsibilities. His ability to recover after each collision and immediately prepare for the next one highlighted exceptional conditioning and determination. While fatigue affected everyone late in the match, his contribution had already laid an important foundation for South Africa's success. Unfortunately, rugby often reminds us how cruel the sport can be. Injuries changed the rhythm of the contest. Evan Roos began brightly, bringing explosive energy whenever he touched the ball. His willingness to attack defenders with power immediately lifted the tempo of South Africa's attack. Players like Roos offer something unique because they combine physical strength with surprising pace. Losing him before halftime forced tactical adjustments, but the impact he made before leaving the field demonstrated why coaches continue investing in his development. The same disappointment surrounded Cobus Wiese. Rugby careers often turn on unfortunate moments beyond a player's control. Wiese displayed aggression and commitment before being forced from the field. Every opportunity to represent South Africa matters enormously because competition for places remains fierce. Even a shortened appearance can leave lasting impressions, both positive and negative. Fortunately, his early contributions reminded supporters why he remains highly regarded within the Springbok system. Up front, Wilco Louw continued reinforcing his reputation as one of the most powerful scrummagers in world rugby. Scrums rarely receive the same attention as spectacular tries, but experienced rugby supporters understand their importance. Dominating the scrum creates psychological pressure. Opponents begin worrying before every set piece. Confidence grows throughout the team. Louw's strength, balance, and technical discipline helped South Africa establish authority whenever the forwards packed down. Those moments may last only seconds, but their influence extends across entire matches. What makes the Springboks unique is not simply their physical size. Many international teams possess large athletes. The difference lies in collective commitment. Every player understands the system. Every replacement enters knowing exactly what is expected. Whether carrying the ball, defending, or chasing kicks, everyone performs with remarkable discipline. That consistency has become one of the defining characteristics of South African rugby over the past several years. Scotland deserve enormous respect for refusing to surrender. Despite relentless pressure, they continued searching for attacking opportunities. Their willingness to move the ball, challenge the defensive line, and test South Africa's discipline created several fascinating tactical battles. Although the Springboks often gained the upper hand physically, Scotland showed courage throughout the contest. Beyond individual performances, this match offered valuable insight into South Africa's long-term planning. World champions cannot rely solely on established legends forever. Every successful rugby nation must constantly develop new talent capable of maintaining elite standards. Matches like this provide priceless experience. Young players learn how to respond under pressure, adapt to international intensity, and build confidence against quality opposition. Think back to previous generations of Springbok greats. Almost every legend experienced a defining early test where coaches realized they belonged. Perhaps some of the players we witnessed here are beginning that same journey. Rugby history often starts with performances exactly like these, hard-working, disciplined displays that gradually earn trust before evolving into legendary careers. At this point, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Which Springbok surprised you the most during this performance? Was it the relentless leadership of Pieter-Steph du Toit, the composure shown by Paul de Villiers, the work rate of Ruan Nortje, or someone else entirely? Share your opinion below because rugby debates are always better when passionate fans join the conversation. And if you're enjoying this breakdown and love deep Springboks analysis, consider leaving a like and subscribing so you never miss our next documentary-style rugby story. As the game entered its closing stages, fatigue became visible across both teams. Yet this is often where championship sides separate themselves from good teams. The Springboks continued communicating, organizing their defensive line, and executing the basics under immense physical pressure. Championship rugby isn't built solely on spectacular moments. It's built on discipline maintained after 70 exhausting minutes when every muscle demands rest. Looking ahead, competition for Springbok jerseys remains incredibly fierce. Every returning injured star will increase selection pressure. That reality ensures no player can relax. Outstanding performances create opportunities, but maintaining those standards week after week determines whether those opportunities become lasting international careers. For coaches, this match likely answered several important questions while creating new ones. Which combinations deserve another chance? Which young players are ready for bigger responsibilities? Who can adapt against different styles of opposition? International rugby is an endless process of evaluation, and every test provides another valuable piece of the puzzle. The Springboks continue building something remarkable, not simply another successful team, but a culture where excellence becomes the minimum expectation. Veterans lead by example, newcomers embrace responsibility, and every player understands that representing South Africa is both an honor and a privilege. That mindset has helped transform the Springboks into one of the most respected rugby nations on the planet. When supporters look back on this test months from now, they may remember more than just the result. They will remember emerging stars proving themselves. They will remember experienced leaders refusing to lower their standards. They will remember a team continuing to evolve while defending its place among rugby's elite. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson from this match. Success in international rugby is never permanent. Every victory must be earned again. Every jersey must be defended again. Every new generation must prove itself once more. On this occasion, several Springboks took significant steps toward securing their future, while reminding the rugby world that the green and gold jersey still represents relentless commitment, unmatched resilience, and a standard that every opponent must respect. The road ahead promises even greater challenges, tougher opponents, and bigger moments, but if this performance is any indication, the future of South African rugby remains incredibly bright, and the next chapter of the Springboks' remarkable story is only just beginning.